Up, everybody? I'm gonna sneak this one in real quick. It's been a while. Been working a lot since the storm. But I wanted to speak on a particular subject that has been actually something very positive and I won't say inspirational, but it's definitely been something that I've been enjoying hearing the narrative of lately. And um, I want to talk about the Cam Newton situation, him going to the Super Bowl. Shout out to him, and good luck to him. But I love the broader narrative that's being brought up and discussed, especially on sports radio. I listen to a lot of sports radio, especially while I'm at work. And this situation with Cam Newton, he had an interview press conference the other day, and he spoke about being black and the hate that he gets and all that, and the societal view of him and how he hasn't conformed. He's been true to himself and all and all that. And it's given us the opportunity to have a very constructive discussion about something. And I want to give shots out to a lot of sports talk radio that I've been listening to, particularly the Michael K show, the Mike and Mike show in the morning. They've had a couple of guests, hosts and stuff like that. Hasn't been the normal host, but even the normal hosts, they've been talking about this in a way that has been refreshing. But first, before I even get into that, I want to talk about how this situation has given us the opportunity to look at the societal viewpoint of black people from. I'm just gonna go specific and say white people, but it could be non-black people too. But the way black people are viewed from three aspects, from three different types of white people. Now you have the flat out, unapologetic racist white person who lets it be known that they racist, they don't like black people, and that's just what it is. And shouts out to those pathetic human beings out there, because you know what? I can actually respect somebody that doesn't front on who they are. If you don't like black people, I'd rather you let me know that from the jump than smile in my face and pretend. Be a man or a woman. Be that person if that's what you are. But anyway, so you have that white person that everybody's very familiar with. You have the liberal white person who is still very much naive and or ignorant to things that they can't relate to. That they say, oh, I'm not racist, I don't have racist tendencies, and blah blah blah, and yet they don't want to enter discussions about race because they feel like, since they as an individual are not racist, then this whole narrative is just feeding negative energy into the world, and it's not helping anything. Whereas, and they get mad at the messengers instead of the issue, more so than the messengers delivering the issue, because again, it takes them out of their comfort zone, and they don't want to talk about uncomfortable things, but at the same time they want to be judgmental of the people delivering the message. So they'll say, oh well, I'm not a racist, I just don't like the fact that Cam Newton dances and celebrates every time he does stuff, because that rubs me the wrong way. Now, it doesn't rub you the wrong way when JJ Watt does it, though. It doesn't rub you the wrong way when Johnny Manziel is throwing money, making it rain with his hand gestures and stuff like that. You don't have a problem with people like them. You don't have a problem with Rodgers with his discount double check, but you got a problem with Cam Newton doing his little choreographed thing, you know, because of what? And then when you get to that point, it's like, no, it's not because he's black, and I insist that it's not because of that, and it may or may not be because of that, but at the same time, you still judge in a particular format that can be questioned. Now, this leads me to the third area, the third person that I am now starting to see more and more of, which is becoming more and more refreshing, and it gives me hope for us all getting along a little bit better in the future. And that's the white person that actually takes the time to look outside of themselves. Because what happens with the other liberal white people is that they look at a black experience from a white perspective, and therefore it nullifies their ability to empathize and understand and try to find some kind of relatable factor, because they're saying that, well, Cam is always bringing things like this up, and I just don't think that's fair. But you're not looking at things from his life experience. You don't know what it was to play college in Auburn, be this dominant black quarterback, and be playing in Alabama and places like that. Yeah, what kind of treatment do you think Cam Newton was getting? What kind of treatment do you think he got growing up? What kind of treatment do you think he got in Carolina? He plays in North Carolina, bro. Not exactly the bell tower of diversity and social acceptance. So what I've been listening to on the radio the last couple of days, and big shout out to this dude Don LaGreca on the Michael K show, man. Like, he really hit it on the head for the first time I heard on the radio, which was awesome. Because some white people will say, well, I don't know what it is to be black. I just don't understand why things always have to be like this. And that's the problem. Because being that you can't relate to the experience, then your next narrative is, I don't see why things have to be this way, instead of understanding that there is this reality. It exists and it needs to be spoken about. So instead of talking about the reality of the situation, you want to talk about how, since that's not how you are, you wish it wasn't like that. But it is like that, and it's sad and it's pathetic, but it is what it is, and you can't sit there and get mad at black people for being hypersensitive to stuff that they've been conditioned to and numbed by. You can't get mad at Cam Newton for saying what he said without understanding where he comes from and what he deals with. White people say, oh, well, I like to think that, there aren't so many, hateful people out there in the world. Well, just go look at his Twitter and see how many hateful people there are in this world. Just because that's not you, it doesn't mean that it does not exist on a very strong, high level. And then you don't understand why black people are hypersensitive to stuff. You don't understand why these athletes can't tell the difference between a good white person and somebody that harbors hate against them. That's what happens. That's the psychological effect of all of this. And if you don't attack the issue, then it doesn't go away. You can't you get mad at the people delivering the message of what they go through, of what they experience. And you try to marginalize their experience because it doesn't happen to you, and you don't see color, and I just don't understand. All right, you don't have to understand the fact that you can't understand people like that. I can't understand a lot of people's logic when it comes to stuff, but I don't say that it doesn't exist because I don't understand it. It exists. Some people's logic are completely backward from mine. But am I going to say, this can't be? It is. But again, these new wave, white people are the ones that I'm feeling the most right now, because they're saying, look, man, we got a problem in this country. These people out here, they on Twitter, they on Facebook, they going hard on Cam Newton simply because he's black. It's not fair, and I don't understand why there are people like that out here still. Therein lies the beginnings, the seeds of what can possibly be changed. Because when you stop attacking the messenger and you start attacking the problem and the issue, that's when you'll start to see things possibly change, And these guys have been really hitting it on the head. They're like, yo, I don't understand society in 2016 still even calling this guy a black quarterback instead of just saying, yo, this dude is just phenomenal, yo. He's just like, yo, I can't believe this. Because, if it was a non-black quarterback who had all these abilities, you would just be talking about how phenomenal of a freak of nature he is. But with Cam, it has to come down to the fact that he's black. And again, that's a reality. You can't stop denying the reality of the situation. Just because it doesn't conform with your philosophy on things, you can't deny that this reality exists, and it exists for black people. And if you're not black and you've never experienced this kind of vitriol, then you can't just sit there and say, well, it's never happened to me, so I don't understand. I don't know what y'all are talking about. You know that it exists. Again, we're all social media savvy people now. Where do you think all these people are coming from? You know, they say there's an expression, if you want to hear the truth, if you want to hear a person's true belief systems and stuff like that, be around them when they're drunk, because the truth comes out. Well, if you want to see a lot of truth, people's true natures, you just go online and look at what they say, because that's when they feel like they can be their true selves. you know and all of us acknowledge that there's a crazy situation on social media where you see people say the most horrible stuff. Well, that's them being them, that they're unfiltered. I done came home and took my mask off self. Now, you mean to tell me that you grow up with a lifetime of feeling that kind of anger and hatred against you for just being who you are, for just existing, and you expect people not to be hypersensitive to that? And then you get mad at a person because they say, I'm not going to change who I am. I'm not going to conform to what you want me to be. I'm going to be me. I'm going to live the dream. I'm living it. Cam is saying, I'm living the dream right now. Are you crazy? And I'm enjoying it. I'm actually having fun living the dream. Who doesn't want to do that? Now, why would you be mad at that? Oh, because he celebrates instead of just giving the ball to the ref. Well, who are you to tell somebody that something is not appropriate? You want to say Cam Newton is not a classy guy? This is the guy that every time he scores a touchdown, he gives the football to a kid. I don't see I don't see some of the more upstanding people of the NFL doing that when they score a touchdown. Are they not classy because they don't do it? Like, come on. Who are you to set the barometer of what is considered to be classy? Is Cam Newton, running out the shower naked in front of the media? After a game? Is he getting drunk and having bar fights and stuff like that? I don't see Cam getting into no trouble. But he's not classy because he likes to dance. So JJ Watt's not classy. He's getting a whole lot of commercials, though. I know that. Not to say that Cam isn't, but what I'm saying is, you can't selectively judge who gets to not be classy. If they're doing similar stuff, then if it's not across the board, then you could be questioned, on your basis of why, of your logic. So anyway, I gotta wrap this up because I gotta get back out here. But again, I'm loving the people out here accepting diversity and opening their perspective beyond their own experience, because everybody has lived a different experience, and we need to understand that, and we need to address the issues instead of trying to dress down the deliverers of the messages. Because people are trying to tell you something. That's the whole point. Trying to tell you something, trying to learn you something. Don't get mad at me for trying to learn you something new. Get mad at the issue. Don't get mad at the person telling you about the issue. And with all that being said, people funny. And with all that being said, God bless everybody. Get home safe. Drive safely out here. Just because the roads, you can see the road, don't mean that there's not something still on the road, that can have you off the road. All right? Be well. Bless up. Later.